40 years ago this month, the Las Vegas Strip was abuzz because two of the biggest stars in the world were in town to film a movie called The Electric Horseman.
Yeah, Robert Redford and Jane Ford were the lead actors, but a notorious high roller talked his way into having a big part in the film. His name was Jimmy Chagra, and at the time, he ran one of the biggest drug smuggling operations in the entire world.
So tonight, the I-Team's George Knapp looks back at the Chagra story and efforts to turn it into a movie.
Robert Redford riding a stolen stallion through Caesar's Palace and then down the Las Vegas Strip was one of the unforgettable scenes from the hit film The Electric Horseman. The movie production was a big deal in Las Vegas in November 1978, and no one was more excited than high-rolling gambler Jimmy Chagra, who talked his way into a small speaking role in the movie.
Jimmy's claim that the reason he got the role was he provided recreational escape drugs to several members of the crew. And so Jimmy's goal in life, he told me, was to get a speaking part in a movie and get a SAG card.
Chagra and his wife Liz snagged this snapshot with Redford and photos with many other celebrities as well. At the time, Chagra was Las Vegas royalty, but his big scene was cut from the film before its release, in large part because he was indicted for running one of the largest marijuana smuggling rings in the world, an operation that sprung from a single plane load of weed and grew into an empire.
And over the course of years, ends up with 5, 6, 7 planes. They end up with 3 freighter ships. He's delivering to the East Coast under the protection of the Raymond Patriarca crime family. He's delivering on the West Coast. In fact, one of the questions he asked me when we first met is, "You went to the University of Oregon, huh?" And I said, "That's right." He goes, "Did you smoke any weed in college?" And I said, "Well, I cannot tell a lie. A little bit recreationally." He goes, "That was my stuff."
Prime Minister of the Bahamas was on my payroll. I give him $10 a pound for everything that he could secure. And I had shootouts with the federales. They kidnapped a couple of my pilots one time, and I had to go down and drop some money to them. And they let the planes up, and they came up loaded with the pot.
Chagra spent 24 years in federal prison and was still in the witness protection program when he spoke to Sheehan and sold the rights to his story to a group of Las Vegas investors. In just 10 years, he'd gone from working in an El Paso rug store to kingpin status on the Strip. He would fly in with a posse of bodyguards, 6 or 7 men Chagra called his stone-cold killers, hauling footlockers filled with illicit cash. Chagra and his brothers would take over entire tables, betting $250,000 per hand. He became known for outrageous tips, paid off the mortgages of cocktail servers, booted Frank Sinatra out of the Frank Sinatra suite.
He was a very smart, cagey, charming, partly evil person. He told me stories that I wouldn't want to tell on camera.
When Chagra's brother Lee was murdered in December of 1978, federal agents found evidence of $100 million in stashed drug profits. The judge assigned the case, known for strict drug sentences, was gunned down by a hired killer named Charles Harrelson, the real-life father of actor Woody Harrelson. Chagra was acquitted of the murder for hire thanks to a crafty attorney named Oscar Goodman, but still did years for drug smuggling. He died of cancer in 2008. Sheehan wrote a screenplay about Chagra based on more than 40 hours of interviews they did, and still hopes to get it made into a movie.
The stories of what happened when they were in Las Vegas were your wildest imaginations. I'll tell you one that you probably can't use on the air, but knowing you will anyway.
Next time, George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Oh, come on, George.
Oh, I was ready.
Chagra's tips were so lavish that dealers at Caesar's Palace awarded him a humongous trophy, proclaiming him as the biggest high roller of all time.
So on our website, our extra interview segments about Chagra's rise and fall and his wild times in Las Vegas.
Go back and watch that story again.